Well, hiya, Babs, it's me, Ginny Lemon, fancy a slows icon of season 2 of RuPaul's Drag Race UK, and I am here at the TLS. Oh, God, yes!
Why did you go on Drag Race Season 2?
Oh, well, I had nothing else better to do, did I? You know, I thought they needed an icon, and an icon they shall get.
That's very good of you. To step down from your pedestal to
Well,
grace us
not
all.
only am I beautiful, talented, gorgeous, hilarious, I'm also very humble.
Modest is your middle name, I've heard.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Ginny Lemon, exactly.
Ginny Lemon, exactly. Was it quite what you expected?
Oh no, you have to get it really early and the catering was shit.
How early is early?
Oh, like 4 or 5 in the morning some days. And I'm notoriously not well tempered in the morning, so I'm very much the lion. You know, thank God I'm wearing my natural hair today, but if it's untamed, the lion is really, really vicious.
That is early. And I mean, some might even say that's just late. That's so far the other way.
Oh yeah, exactly. For me, that's usually the time I'd be coming home, but this is the time I'm getting up. So it was quite the titty twister.
Obviously, you know you're an icon, as you say. But what has life been like since leaving the show?
Well, it's been quite interesting, really, because I kind of have this newfound fan base, people that have heard of me and watched me on the telly. So, but I haven't really been able to get that out and perform and work and do what I do best, which is performing and meeting people and having a good laugh, really. So it's quite the one thing being recognised in Waitrose, but it's quite another thing. I said Waitrose instead of Little Red, thank you, sound posh. It's one thing being recognised in the supermarket queue, but I'd quite like to just go out there and do the thing that I do best, really, and that's perform and hopefully entertain people. So it's been great, but it's also been really sad because it was a great opportunity to go out there, but alas, pangolins and all of that. So,
of course, 21st of June is the date that's been set, and if all goes well, that'll be the date that all the social distancing restrictions are lifted. Have you got something planned for that day?
If all goes well, but I mean, this current government does not give a shit about the arts, and it's royally up the arse without even buying us a meal first. So fingers crossed, because otherwise we're gonna have to start revolting, because the arts was the first thing to go and the last thing to come back, and that's the most disgusting thing that this country has done as of late. So, to kill the thing that we're most famous for, it's like, what are you doing? Like, come on, like, stem the clot, you idiots. You get out there performing, not just me. I'm not just talking about sad people that like drag queens. I'm talking about people who want entertainment, theatre, musicians, artists. We're all, even though I've had the complete luxury and good luck and hard work of getting on Drag Race, if I'd not had that, I'd be retraining in cyber. I'd know how to use this Zoom setup by now,
What was it like seeing yourself on television? Sometimes I watch these back and I'm like, oh my God, is that what the back of my head looks like and that sort of thing? What was it like for you?
Well, I'm not really, I wouldn't say I'm particularly a vain person or anything like that. So I just found it quite uncomfortable to watch myself, because obviously I don't really look at myself a lot unless I'm checking for bogies or blackheads in the mirror. So for me, it was quite abstract, and I thought it was great. I thought I had really little legs, so I'm quite pleased with that. Apart from seeing myself crying or that malarkey, it was fab.
Not that you need it, but maybe quite humbling, I think.
Well, I mean, absolutely. I think for me, it was good to be humbled. I mean, you could take that in another context. I just went out there to make people laugh. I wasn't expecting to be vulnerable or show myself really as an artist, as the person behind the mask. So that's the kind of thing I forgot about and didn't think about until I watched it back and was like, oh God. Oh, usually I just, put the mask on and just have a laugh. But then I kind of had to be a bit more real and be the sort of tormented artist behind the clown.
So Ginny, not only are you a drag queen, but you're a musician too. I've listened to your music. When did you start making music?
Well, I think I've been making music my whole life, really. But I think some of the earliest memories is I used to write poetry a lot, very things. So it was when I think I was around about 10 that these books of poems started to come to life. But I never, I grew up in a very working class household, so I never had the luxury of having any music lessons or anything like that. So I was very much self-taught in a sense of using my voice and what I could do with that. And then when I was able to play around with computers and loop stations and build up songs purely from, vocal instrumentalization, it's a big mouthful. That was kind of a thing. You know, originally I was just a singer-songwriter trying to do my stuff, and then nobody wants to hear it. So I was like, well, I'll pop a wig on my head and earn a bit of money instead and sing a few covers. So the music really is that's the thing that I love the most, because it's completely, I don't have to, the music speaks for itself, hopefully. And I mean, you know, I'm not saying I'm some sort of musical genius or legend, but I like to think that my music is slightly set apart from what you'd expect other drag queens from the show to be making, because my history is kind of in singing and songwriting. So I love it. You know, it's my outlet. It's the thing that kind of, if all else fails, you know, if I'm not feeling all this, I can go and sing a little song, write a little song, or write a few lines, or, you know, a few lines always helps.
I think that could be another name for one of your songs, I think.
Well, I do have a song called Bump Off a Key coming soon, but it's very controversial.
It doesn't sound like a song you'd release, a controversial song. Goodness me.
No, not me, ever.
Ginny, undoubtedly after this season of Drag Race, there's going to be a lot of aspiring drag queens watching, and hopefully watching this interview as well. What would you say to them? What would be your advice for those aspiring drag queens?
Don't do it. Just don't do it, kids.
That's what Davina De Campo said as well.
No, my advice to kids, anyone doing drag, I would really say, do not let anyone tell you what drag should be. You should experiment drag and do whatever you want. I mean, look at me, I don't do a cut crease, I don't do any of that crap. I do what I want to do, because that's what I want to do. And you know, makeup is not my speciality, so I chose to focus on performance and look. Find what it is that you're best at and do that. You know, I admire girls that can spend 3 hours on their face and look absolutely gorgeous, because that's what they do best, you know? So find what you do best and you do you. Don't do anyone else, just do you.
I think that's good advice for life as well.
Well, for life, yeah. It's my undying cliched message is you do you. Like, that's exactly what my message is. And also let other people do themselves and just leave them alone. Like, as long as they're not beating you off, just leave them to it, baby. You do you.
I think that's equally as important. Ginny, it's been a real pleasure speaking to you tonight. Thank you so much for taking
gold
the time.
Dust, darling. Slips through our fingers times like these.
Doesn't it just? Hope next time we cross paths, it'll be in real life.
IRL. Oh, that sounds like a hookup. I'll see you there.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.